Okay, so today I would like to show you something about the pentatonic scale. After long years of teaching, I've figured out that lots of my students have a hard time, well, remembering the 5 shapes of the pentatonic scale. This is the first problem with the usual approach of the pentatonic scale, even though the pentatonic scale is the perfect way to, well, to start improvising. And another problem is that most of my students and most of beginning students have a hard time using the pentatonic scale because they tend to sound the same. You can always identify someone who used the pentatonic scale quite easily when they learned with 5 positions, the usual typical 5 vertical positions on the guitar. Typically, when you take the case of an A minor pentatonic, you learn this, which is perfectly fine, which is correct. But usually people always play in this vertical way and it always sounds the same. Sounds like this, and I'm not trying to be offensive in this case. It's just to make sure and to show you how that could sound like when you learn those positions. Like 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, all the notes were correct, but they don't really sound musically. So I've come up with a different approach. So the first point is that with my approach, I'm not claiming that my approach is better. I'm not saying that it's the best way to learn the pentatonic scale. I just say that my students like this approach because they just have to keep in mind 2 sets of pentagons. And you could call them pentagons, or you could find another way to call them. It's just that you always have 2 sets of combinations of 2 and then 3 fingers, or vice versa. So let's take an example. Let's say we want to play over a song which is in A minor, or in its relative key of C major. So the first thing we need to look for is the A on the E string, which is on the 5th fret. So, and from here we go 2 frets below. We're in fret 3 now, and we start the first pentagon. So now you can see what the pentagon looks like. It's just like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You just got these 5 notes: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Fret 3, 5, and on the A string the same thing, and you add fret 7. I just do it with the slide because then your hand position is already correct. Just like that. You do the same thing on the D and G string. Oh, sorry. And then 1 fret higher on the B and E string. So you got that. So always the combination of 2 and then 3. 2, 3. 2, 3. So you already cover quite a long distance from fret 3 to fret 12, which is quite cool, and that, well, kind of prevents you from always going this vertical way, but you rather do this in a diagonal way now, which covers basically the entire guitar. But now we add the second shape, and let's remember our root is here in 5th fret. The first position started 2 frets below, and the second position of this pentagon starts 3 frets above, which is here on fret 8. So, and now we do it vice versa. We start with 3 notes, and then on the second string we go on with 2 notes, which looks like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So now we just have to keep in mind 2 sets of pentagons. The first one 2, 3, 2, 3, 2, 3. The second one 3, 2, 3, 2, 3, 2. And now you cover the entire guitar with those 2 shapes. And you don't have to learn very much. So when I started to learn the pentatonic scale, I also had problems learning those 5 positions. I just couldn't get them into my head. So I was looking for a different approach, and this is why I came up with this approach. Again, I'm not saying that this is the perfect way, I'm just saying it's a good way for me to learn and for my students to learn the pentatonic scale. Just to give you a brief example of how it could sound like, again, 1, 2, 3. Of course, this is nothing but one example of like 4 building examples you could choose or you could play. Okay, thanks for watching.